the Never Stop Learning Challenge. So for this month's Never Stop Learning Challenge, I attended a class all about vocal rehabilitation. Now, it's important to know when it's a good idea to go and get your voice checked by the doctor. And so some of the symptoms that you might want to look out for that might indicate that there's a problem with your voice are things like hoarseness, sudden vocal loss, sudden loss of range, a new or unexpected wobble or change in quality or tone of your voice. These are all kind of symptoms that could be indicating that there's something wrong with your voice. If you're working with a voice teacher, they can also indicate to you if they're noticing something that might need checking out. When you go and get your voice checked, what they do, so you understand, is that they send a camera down, usually through your nose, send a camera down and have a little look at your vocal cords, your vocal folds, because we cannot see them by just opening our mouths and going, you've got to send a camera down to get a proper look. So some of the things that we were talking about that might get diagnosed includes things like nodules, which are little like blisters that form on your vocal folds. Polyps, which are even bigger, similar sort of idea. They kind of form like a blister on your vocal folds. We talked about vocal paralysis. So sometimes people can get a vocal fold that is paralyzed. So one isn't working anymore and the other one is having to do all the work to get the vocal cords to open and close. And we also talked about vocal tremors, which was interesting because I didn't know much about that previously. So let me tell you a little bit about vocal tremors. So vocal tremors are usually something that is hereditary. It's not caused by misuse of the voice. It's just one of those things that if you get it, it wasn't your fault. You just get it. And once you've got it, there isn't really a cure, but we can work on getting a better sound out of the voice. So yeah, there are things you can do that can improve how well you can use your voice if you do develop a tremor, which is like an uncontrollable shake that happens in your vocal folds. People can develop tremors, in other parts of the body as well. Like you might, know somebody with a tremor in the hand or something, for example. If it happens in the vocal cords, it creates a constant kind of wobble in the sound of the voice. So one other thing that I wanted to share that we talked about in this class that I thought was interesting was when to know when to put yourself on full vocal rest, as in no singing, no talking, no nothing. And actually the advice now, it's quite different from what it was when I first started teaching, is that in most cases the advice is not to take vocal rest. The advice is to work and rehabilitate through appropriate vocal exercises. When I did my TED talk, there was a lovely lady there, Julia, who did a talk, and she was talking about, she's a physiotherapist, so she was talking about movement and pain and all sorts. And she said in her talk, motion is lotion, and that stuck with me. And the same applies for your voice. If it's just a little rough around the edges, if you've just overused it and it's a little bit sore, we don't necessarily want to put you on complete vocal rest. We want to use it in the right way so that that motion creates lotion. Thanks, Julia. So we want to make sure we're using the voice in the right way, doing rehabilitative exercises, things like straw work, using a straw to work on your voice. The only times when the advice would be to put you on complete vocal rest is if there has been a vocal hemorrhage, so a bleed in the vocal cords. If you've been through vocal surgery of some kind, then they'll put you on complete vocal rest while that's starting to heal. If there is severe laryngitis or vocal fold ulceration, that's another situation where they might put you on complete vocal rest. And also any situation where you might injure yourself further from singing. So if you're not working with a voice teacher or a speech language therapist, and the doctor thinks that you might go out and start screaming your voice away again, they might put you on complete vocal rest there, just because they know that the habits that caused the damage will continue and make it worse. So long as you are working with a good voice teacher, you can continue to work through certain vocal injuries, certainly things like nodules and just vocal tiredness. So if you've overdone things, if you've got reflux, you've got acid damage, those sorts of things, really you want to keep working through those rather than just resting it. And the key thing about rehabilitation, if you kind of break that word up, habilitation is forming good habits in the first place. Rehabilitation is reforming and creating new habits so that we're avoiding the habits that created the damage in the first place. So a lot of people, when they create damage in their voice, it's through misuse of the voice, so using the voice in a particular way that can be damaging. And so the work for those people is to relearn how to use their voices so that they continue to use them, but safely, so that it doesn't create any more damage. I hope that's been interesting.